Alright, today we're going to be talking about working with images, and we're going to be explaining some basic concepts. From there we move further to do better things, and let's begin. First of all, we're going to be talking about what Photoshop is, and I'm going to be looking at two terminologies, which is rasters and smart layers. Photoshop is a raster based software. Photoshop deals with rasters or rasterized layers. They are pixel based layers. So raster graphics, these are made up of grids. Grid of pixels, each with a specific color and position. So they are made up of pixels, each with a specific color and position. That's what rasters are. Then vectors, on the other hand, vector graphics. They are made up of paths defined by mathematical equations, that is like points, lines, curves, and shapes. An example of a software that works on things like that is your Adobe Illustrator. So now let's look at, since we're dealing on rasters, since we're on Photoshop, rasters, we said raster or raster graphics are made up of grid of pixels. So if we should zoom into this picture, you see these are pixels, these boxes. This is one pixel, this is one pixel, this is one pixel. So this is a grid of pixels. So rasters are made up of grid of pixels. So these pixels are make up this particular photo, and we said that each of them have a specific color and a position. So now we look at these pixels here. You see this pixel here is somewhat gray, lighter gray. You see this is in a particular position, which is a particular color. This a particular position with a particular color. So that's what rasters are. I want to talk about raster graphics. So now we have what we call rasterized layers and smart layers. Rasterized layers and smart layers. Rasterized layers, these are pixel based layers that once you have rasterized that layer, it becomes a fixed image that you can't directly edit at the pixel level. And smart layers are layers that preserve the original content of an image or object with all characteristics, allowing non-destructive editing. So there are two layers here with the same picture, two layers. This one having this icon here, this is the icon of smart. This is a smart object icon. Now was said rasters or rasterized layers, these are pixel based layers that they are fixed and you cannot edit them and go back to make changes. So they become fixed and that you can directly edit them at the pixel level. So this is a rasterized image, this is a vector, a smart image. This is a rasterized image, this is a smart image. So now here we go. Okay, there's a disadvantage to having rasterized images or rasterized layers, because this is a rasterized layer. It doesn't have this icon. They lose their quality. As a result of pixelation. So pixelation is this process when the pixels become evident, like they show, you begin to see the pixel. Right now you don't see the pixels until you zoom in to a great extent, but when you scale a rasterized layer, you scale it, you begin to see this pixel, it loses its quality. So let's see an example of that. So when I scale this, click on enter and take it back to the original position. You see now that the pixels are visible. You see now it loses the quality, it becomes pixelated, so it loses the quality. Let's say we go back again, shrink, enter, release again, more loss, shrink, enter, release, See, it's worse. So this is one disadvantage that this type of layers have. This is one disadvantage that this type of layers have. They lose their quality during scaling. So yeah, and now another disadvantage is destructive editing. Once changes are made, they can't be reversed unless you use history or undo. Like if we are to pick our brush tool now and we just paint over this, I want to do something and paint over this, we can't go back. It is fixed. If you look at this image now, you see that it has been embedded on this picture. So this has become one with this picture. We can't erase this. We can't change this. If we should pick our eraser now, just erase, it affects the picture. So we can't make changes to this except we undo. That's when we can make changes to it. So that is one of the disadvantages. But unlike the smart layer, you can make changes to it, but we'll get there shortly. Now we're still on the rasterized layer. This rasterized layer though have some advantages over the smart layer. Now what are the advantages? Number one is direct pixel editing. You can use brushes and eraser and filters on it. Yeah, there are tools you can use on a rasterized layer that you can not use on a smart layer. For example, this spot healing brush. Click on our rasterized layer, select spot healing brush. You see this? Now we need to get rid of this here. So you just click on it. See, it's gone. Click on this other part, gone. You see? That is one of the benefits of having rasterized layers. But unlike the smart layer, if we click on that, we can't use it. You see, said that this smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. You see, we can't use that. That is one of the advantage of having a rasterized layer. Another tool that can't be used except on a rasterized layer is the clone stamp. The clone stamp. Select our rasterized layer. You see, now holding on Alt and picking. Let's pick a hand. So you come here. You see, you can only do this with a rasterized layer. You can't do this with a smart layer. All right, now so we're going to be talking about the smart layers. What are smart layers? We talked about it that they preserve the original content of an image with all its characteristics, allowing for non-destructive editing. That means anything you edit, you can go back on it. And another thing is that you can go to the original source. You can double click on it and go to the original source of the document. See, this is the original picture before it was turned to a smart object. And also you can apply smart filters. As for example, come here and let's say blur, let's say Gaussian blur, and we add Gaussian blur, smart filter. And double click on this and change it again. You can decide to make it less and increase it, so we can actually make edits even after we have applied. We can come back again and do. But for the rasterized layer, we can't do that. We can't do that for the rasterized layer. Any effect you do on it, any filter you use on it, it's automatically imprinted on it. So let's see, we come to filter. Okay, come to filter and we'll click on Gaussian blur. There's it. I'll click on OK. It's gone. It's gone. This is the new look of this image. We can't actually change it anymore. So go to undo that. So that is one of the advantages of using the smart object. So I'm going to reduce this. Take this one out. So that's one of the advantages. Another thing that we can do is we can easily resize. So it's no longer distorted. We can resize. We can take it to this, enter, bring it out again, preserve the quality. Yeah. Now we're going to be talking about working with images. Now we're going to be looking at selecting subject selection. Now if you look at this way, you see this tool here which says quick selection. Click on it and you see here select subjects, or if you don't want to do that, you see here it says select subjects on this bar here. Just click on it and automatically it gives you a selection of, but you can observe this that some details are missing. See, the hair is not properly selected. So what we can do with this is, after making the selection, we can come to this, select and mask, and now with this selected, we can come to refine hair here. Click on refine hair, and it's on Photoshop episodes to pick the hair. Can still click on our brush tool, on our refine edge brush tool, and just click around where we know we can see the hairs that were not selected. So now we can slide down, we can slide this so that we'll see what we're working on more on our output. Now we have the hairs. Zoom in. We have the hairs properly picked out for us, and we'll slide down here, output settings. Make sure it's new layer with layer mask. So click on OK. Good. Now I have that. Now we can actually ditch this and delete this, and now we have this properly selected. If we had done it the other way of just going with this subject selection that it gave, let's go back to that and see. Okay, let's see this. We just click on select subject and we mask. Without we use this icon here, we'll come here for Photoshop 2025. Yeah, we get this, but I think 2033 downwards don't have this bar, so you have to come here and click on this. Let's see. You see that this at the top has more hair, more details in the hair compared to this. So you see there's more hair, more details compared to this. So with that edge refining brush, you can actually get more things done. Right, so today we're going to be looking at camera raw filters, and I'm going to be learning some things about it. So we're going to be working in this picture. Alright, now this the reason I chose this is because this is a very good picture for us to use for this example. So we can see this picture looks cool. Its quality is huge enough. It's quite okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making adjustments to this picture using camera raw filter. So our image is already a smart object, but for this is we want to remove this extra background. We just want to work with this, so then we click on this to open the picture and click on our crop tool. So we'll crop this out. Yes, so we're done. Yes, so Ctrl S to save. So it saves this, and yeah, we can close this. Yeah, now we have this. So what we're going to do is clicking on it, we'll come to filter, come to camera raw filter, or you click on Shift Ctrl A to open camera raw filter.
So now this are the panels. So we have lights, basic edits, basic edits here. So here you can toggle between before and after. So click on this here, so you can see this is the before, this is the after. So anything you do here is replicated on the other side. So this is how it is now. So anything we apply here, effect. Now let's come to the different panels. So we have this basic panel. Depending on your version, you might see basic, you can see tone curve on there. So here we have the lights. Everything here in light have to do with what makes the image bright. So first of all, we have our exposure. This adjusts the overall brightness. So it affects both the image, the background, and everything. So okay. So in case if you make an adjustment, you can hold on Alt, and once you hold on Alt, you see it shows reset. So you can come here and reset, and reset. Now anything you change, once you hold on Alt, all those things will come with reset. So you can just come reset. So if you want to reset the entire thing, click on Alt and you see reset lights. So maybe we'll make adjustments in these different places. Reset lights. Once you hold on Alt, click on it, and everything under that category goes back to default. So yes, now work with lights. So this is for overall brightness, your exposure. Then your contrast increases or decreases the difference between lights and darks. So if I increase the contrast, you see it adds more sharpness to this image. So zooming in, you see this is very light, where this is having little detail when it comes to light and the dark parts. So when we come to highlights controls brightness in the lightest part. So the brightness on this place, and highlights as where light is located in the picture. So it controls the light. So I can increase the brightness on this part because here is brighter than this side. So if I increase my highlight, you see those parts on this side that have more light increases. So let's try that out. You see highlights, you see. So if you take the highlights down, see those places with increased light distribution will begin to reduce. So this will help you to control light where there's excess light in a picture. Your shadows control brightness in the darkest part. This place that is dark, so you can increase it. So anywhere that is dark become bright. So you can reduce it more. Anywhere that is dark becomes even more dark. Then white is fine-tunes the brightness and darkest points, the brightest and darkest points. So white, so reduce this, okay, the brightest and darkest points. So this effect. Then for blacks, the same thing. So this white is for the brightest points, blacks is for the darkest points. So fine. So anywhere that is dark, you can make it darker. It's almost like the way you have your shadows and highlights. So they almost work the same way. Now coming to color, we have temperature, the overall look of a design. So you can make it warm, cool. This is the cool part, is blue, then this is the warm part. So you can do then tint. You can add tints to your design. Then vibrance increases muted colors without over saturating skin tones. So it increases muted colors without over saturating skin tone. So let's see colors. You do this, so the skin tone is not over saturated, but it comes out properly. Then your saturation adjusts the overall color intensity. So if you have a blue here like this, it becomes even sharper. So you can see overall, but this is different. This helps you to adjust the muted colors without over saturating the skin tones, but for saturation skin tones are affected too. That's for color. Then we come to effects. You have texture. This enhances, so we're going to reset this. So reset color. Yeah, so texture, it enhances or softens medium detail. So the details on this, let's zoom in. You increase texture, see it's getting more detailed. Yeah, so that. Then clarity boosts mid-tone contrast. Then dehaze removes or add atmospheric haze. So if there is haze on your design, on your picture, you can use the haze and it removes it, makes it even clearer, sharper. Also your grain helps to add, like you can use it to add grains to your design. So you see there are grains in the design. Set that. Then for the curve, the tone curve, so we can just tune here based on colors that are picked. So it works in an S curve format. Say S curve. Then we have color mixer. Color mixer adjusts hue, saturation, and luminance. So for each color, you can work on each color separately. Work on each color separately. Guys, I choose color and choose HSL, so to bring them in different panels. So for this, we set the effects curve. Looking at skin, we have orange. Okay, let's go for something blue. We can adjust this blue here, and this is closer to it. We can increase the saturation. Then this other blue, we can increase it to, you see, more blue. Then this looking is closer to orange, so we can try to adjust that. It also affects our skin tone because our skin tone is orange too. So if you have a particular color, you can adjust a particular color with just the slider, so you don't need to worry about it. Then the next is your color grading. Color grading allows you to tint shadows, midtones, and highlights separately for creative color control. So for midtones, highlights are the brightest parts, shadows are the darkest part, the midtones is the part in between the brightest and the darkest part. So let's see for our midtones, those will select places like these are not so bright. You can choose to, let's take it to a blue. You see, those your midtones have that coloration. Then we'll take our shadows, the very dark part, let's put in red. You see, then our highlights, the brightest part, take it to green. You see, so we have each of them. You can adjust with this. Then you can add your blending to make them how they blend with your design. The balance, you can work on that also. Then coming to detail, we'll reset this. Coming to detail, you can increase sharpening your image, sharpening for images that are so smooth. So you can increase the sharpening to add some grains, to add some texture to it. This helps to add texture. Then noise reduction, if there's too much grain, you can add this. Maybe in the picture you have, you can add noise reduction and reduce it, the grain. This. So if you have a picture that is so grainy, you can add this to. Excess of it makes it look too smooth, so you want to learn how to control this and do it to your taste. Color noise reduction also, because if there's any noise, color noise, it helps to reduce or increase that. Then optics, distortion, and then vignette, adding dark shadows around. Can I choose white or black? I'll zoom out. The lens blur. You have your calibration. So calibration, adjust the red, green, and blue primary channels to correct or stylize color rendering. So you can do with this. So once you are done with everything, probably you have done all the edits you need and you like that setting, I can reduce this exposure a little bit, increase this contrast, reduce the highlights a little bit, and yeah, turn the contrast up. And okay, let's see, effects, texture. I need some texture on this, and clarity too. Yeah, cool. Then into grain, then add some sharpening. Yeah, I think I love this. So you can just click OK and it applies. Or in case you love this, you can always come here and click create preset from what you already made. I'm going to name this class as you can name it anything you want. So you can choose what to add to the details. If you added a lens blur, you can add it or geometry, but these are the major ones you need. So click on OK, and to access your presets, this is your presets tab. So you click here, you see user presets. I had others before, so this is added to it. So see the ones I have for skin. This is the one I use for skin most of the time. So this is the one we just use. So click on OK. So I think I will use this one for skin. I love this. See the before and the after. Now click on OK, and let's see what it does. Beautiful. So you can come here and click and see the difference. See here before, see after. So camera raw filter helps you to add a lot of detail and help you to refine your image.